Hi guys, Ronda Winstead here, aka Ronda without an H on Etsy. So this is the second video in making this Midori Style Missionary Journal for my granddaughter. So what we are doing now is deciding what to do with the cover. I will put a link to the first video if you didn't have a chance to see that in the description box below. To all of you who are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm happy that you joined me. And of course, to those of you that have been here with me for quite some time, it is always fabulous to see you, my friends. I love you guys. How are you? I hope that you are having a wonderful day. So I'm going to do some thinking aloud here. You help me out. Just as a reminder, this I cut from a package from an Amazon package that I received. This is 12 by 6.5-ish, and that will be approximately the same size. I'm kind of using this one as my go-to, doing it much the same, but of course different colors and whatnot. My granddaughter wants purple and sage green, so that's what we're gonna do. And I haven't decided whether to use paper or fabric on the bottom. I don't know. So I've pulled out some fabrics that I think might work, that are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm kind of leaning towards this. It's not dark, but it's not super light either. And this is, as a reminder, this is her favorite picture of the Savior. He's in the boat, and you see all the constellation, the stars, the beautiful heavens there that are amazing. So I want to bring out those colors. And obviously there's no sage green in that, but I think by bordering it with some pretty fabrics or paper or both, that's what's hard, is to decide what. So hopefully you have got yours narrowed down a little bit. And I need to make a decision. So I could do this, and this is 12 by 12 inch scrapbook paper. I could cut this down and use this as my base, and then layer some different fabrics on there. Let me just show you. For instance, this is all paper. This is fabric. And paper, and paper. So most of this is paper on this first one that I did. And then you've got the fabric. And on the inside, this is a wallpaper that I've got down. And here's another pattern of wallpaper. So obviously on this I've used a lot of the paper more. But, oh, you guys, decisions. Decisions, it drives me nuts sometimes. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and we'll cut we'll give this a cut, and we will just see what we think, because we don't have to use it. If I do, okay. Now what I thought would be fun to go around is I have, look at this fabulous chenille from a bedspread that I have cut up. I can put this all around the edge here. I think I'll have to, sometimes it's hard to be able to tell what is the right or wrong side of your chenille. Okay, so this can go all around the edge, and that yeah. Then bring in the colors. Okay, whoops. Dropping everything here, sorry. Okay, well, let's just kind of go on that theory for a minute. And if we do that, then what do we want to do for the spine? Here again, let's kind of keep that. Now this is what I did the spine and my going around the edge with the same muslin, coffee dyed muslin here. And I definitely want some light and dark, some different colors going on here. Let's bring this in just to take a peek, see which is the right and which is the wrong side, you guys. I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of soft and pretty. What would... No, definitely not. Unless I did something, you know, like this. You know what? This could take us like forever. So let's not do that. Let's just bite the bullet. Let's bite the bullet, you guys. And let's just put something down here and see how it goes. So I am using art glitter glue, and I decided to open my tiny little, there's a little glue bottle, which is the one that I'm holding in my left hand here, that comes when I order the art glitter glue. And so I haven't used it before, but I thought, you know, let's just give it a try. Okay. So we'll just put that on there like we meant to. And we're going to turn that. Okay. Decision made. All right. So next, keeping in mind, now that might be fun to have something of that nature popping out in a little bigger, let's see if this would be wide enough to give this a, I would love this stuff. I love this stuff, you guys. Because I could do something along these lines. I don't know. Want to make sure that we keep it so that she feels like I've followed the color that she likes. How's about, let's maybe try ripping this a little bit, and I need to put my little lid on there. But I've been surprised, you guys, at how handy this has been and it's just the regular art glitter glue that I've ordered, and it has come with this little tiny applicator and bottle as well. Okay, so where are my fabric scissors? Let's go ahead and do a little bit of ripping. And we will, ouch. Ouch, that hurt. My rulers kind of came tumbling down into my finger there for a minute. Let's see what we need. So I am just, as you can see, I am not measuring. I'm just kind of eyeballing. And this is by no means, this doesn't have to be a done deal. We're just giving it a try. If I don't like it, I will switch it up and do something different with it. Not a problem. And of course, you guys, if you don't have any fabric, then you can absolutely use your papers. Not a problem. You can do either or, whatever is kind of calling to you. Let's see. We'll just kind of do that, say, there. And then I will kind of pick off this fringe a little bit to fringe it a little bit more. I love a vintage look. You guys know that. You know that I love the vintage, but my granddaughters are all, well, they're all beautiful, quite frankly. And they're just wonderful people. My grandsons are equally wonderful, but this is not for a grandson right now. Okay, so I've got that. I've got this. This is pale. This is pale. They're very soft colors. So I definitely want to bring in something darker to give a nice accent or highlight. And I don't know that I don't know what I think about that. So it is a beautiful day outside. Have you noticed, you guys, how now all of a sudden the ads on our YouTube videos have switched to autumn? It's just like, whoa, what happened? September 1st came and everything is a little different. Anyway, I have noticed that. It's like, okay. And of course, I keep all of this kind of thing. I'll show you again. I have a thread, and then I need to do another video of this, of stitching and making more fabric with the threads and whatnot. It's kind of a cool technique. And I do have a video. I don't think I've got more than one on that process, but we can see. Okay, for this, I'm thinking, what if we let this purple be the spine and did something of this nature, and we did this. It's kind of plain, isn't it? I don't like it. Okay. So what I need to do, I'm thinking, is I need to get some other colors going on here. What can I do? Let's see. Trying to find. That's kind of a cool. Let's see if we do something. I just need to get some good layering going on here. I feel like that's one of the things I need to do. I have an old that's been torn apart. Hang on just one sec. Okay. A New Testament. So I think I will take some of the pages here, maybe one or two on here, and just see about adding there is no, you guys, there just really is no rhyme or reason as to how this, how this comes together. It's just a matter of just playing around, of trying this and trying that and moving things around a little bit here and there. Let's see. For the spine, let's measure. About 2.5 inches. So let's go about 2.5 inches here. And we will cut in there and see. I'm going to go ahead and rip this part off. This is the selvage. By the way, the selvage of the fabric, if you don't cut it off and you're quilting, it will continue to shrink size. So in sewing with a project, you don't want the selvage used, except that when we're doing, this kind of sewing with journals and all of that kind of thing, then that's a whole different rule. There are different rules, you guys, for all of this stuff. Okay, and of course, I've got many threads on here, and I will press those out. I'm not it does drive me nuts a little bit when I see people just throwing their fabric together and they don't iron it, and they're putting a project, which is just me. It's just me. It's my OCD or whatever. It's nothing against a person or against their method, anything. It just is a little weird for me. Let's just try a couple of things. I honestly don't know where I'm going with this. I feel something is definitely not working, and I'm not sure what it is that's not working. So this is just a wave cutter. So let's do a strip. And see, I don't know why I'm doing that. We'll just see if it means anything. I am going to just take a second, you guys, and press these two pieces of fabric down so that they're just a little bit easier to work with. Have a little more control over it, and I can get a better idea of what is working maybe or what isn't working. So we'll just give that a go. Okay, for me, I just like it a little better when it's finished. Okay, so if we have this in the center and we have this pretty piece right here, and we do something with this, and I think what we might want to do is use my tear ruler so we don't have the edges quite so blunt, and we'll see how this goes. So what are you working on? I would be interested to know what projects you're working on right now. Obviously, you know what I'm working on. And it is, it's getting about that time, so I really do need to get this done. Let's see. Got this picture. I don't want it squared like that. We definitely don't want that. So let's take a peek. I have this where I have 3 edges. This is my favorite edge. It's very feminine. Or I can just use this as well and just curve it. Let's try this. Let's try this. Okay. You know what's so frustrating, you guys? When you buy a new punch, and these aren't new, by the way, but it just made me think of it. When you buy a new punch and you find that it has a tendency to drag, not cut clean in the very beginning. Have you ever had that? That's frustrating for me. It's like, hey, come on, you guys. You sell this as a new punch, and yet I can't, unless I put other paper behind it, it won't work. Okay, let's see. Got this, got this. Do that. And what we might need here is we might need a whole nother picture on here just to help emphasize that. And this is the one that I used on mine, which a little bit smaller image, which I love. But obviously I want my granddaughter to be happy with this. This is for her. Let's see. Behold, I am a disciple of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. I have been called of him to declare his word among his people that they might have everlasting life. That's kind of cool. Now maybe something, maybe something like that. Okay. And you know what? This may not work. This may be entirely too light. It may need to have, let me get this back out. And maybe that's what's bothering me. I don't know. Let's just rip. Let's just rip. Back in the day, when I was growing up, they used to rip fabric. I can remember Mom going in and getting fabric to make things, and they would cut a little in the end, and then they would just rip it. And then, of course, they got much more detailed and fancy, and then, of course, rotary cutters and that kind of thing came into play, mat boards and rotary cutters and rulers, and I'm a sucker for all of that with the quilting. But it's kind of fun to go back to the ripping. Now, let's see, what if we were to, this is just to kind of get an idea, you guys. Okay? And then, of course, it would be all the way around. Maybe. Okay. So I am going to play around some more here and come up with what I feel like is maybe a finished, and show you what I end up doing. This part, in all honesty, it just takes a bit of time, and I don't want to continue to do that on camera, to use up that time just to kind of hunt and find the pieces. I feel like I've done that enough already, but want to continue on so that we can, move forth. So I may add some lace. I might bring some lace in here. I think I'm going to look for some purple paper as well. I don't know if I have any digital downloads that are purple. I might. So I'm going to take a peek there and see what I can do. So in the meantime, why don't you get going on yours and be playing around, and then we'll get together and we'll see what we've come up with. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I am back, and as you will notice, I have changed everything. The process of layering and putting down different bits and pieces is not an exact science. You just really have to go with what you feel. And I have gone ahead. I'm getting started, so I want to show you, because I don't have my sewing machine handy to do that part, but I do want to show you what I'm doing. So as you can tell, I have switched up this paper for a piece of fabric that I had with stars, which, by the way, she loves stars and constellations and astrology, so I thought that was a fun change. And I have backed the picture and edged around there. I've used a tear ruler and then glued that down and have just edged that a little bit, and have edged a little bit of sheet music. So this is what I'm thinking now. I still haven't picked my edging around here. I haven't picked that yet, but I like what I've got so far. And bringing in one of my wax seals that I like to do. And this is actually not a sage green, but it's got some sage here, and so I think it will actually go all right. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting that there, and when you have the book closed, the little notebook, you can see how pretty this is going to be. I have two fabrics here, a darker purple, and then I put more of a sage green on top of that. Stitched that on. I've glued the paper on. I just used this stick glue because it'll all be stitched. Am I leaving anything out? And seriously, you guys, I apologize that I can't quite start to finish show you exactly every little thing that I do or think or that I play with. I play a lot with different ones before I come up with something that just, I don't know, it gets to that point and you're just like, okay, I like that. That feels good. Okay, so what I will do now is go ahead and stitch this on. This will be glued. I won't stitch this, but I will glue that down. I'm really liking this. If you open it up this way, you can see my stitching lines where I have stitched down the fabrics. I'm not going to do anything to the back. I don't think, at least at this point. So yeah, we'll get that, and I'm still looking for something to edge it with. I have some different choices. This is gonna be difficult. Now, before I edge around, I'll go ahead, I'll stitch this on. I will glue this, and before I do the edging, I will put an inside. I have this green, I have this green. I could also do fabric, and I will, any pockets or anything like that we're going to do, we'll want to do those before we stitch them together, because I don't want stitch lines to show to the outside of here, except where I've wanted to have it be stitched. So you do the two parts. You do the cover, one part, get all that done the way you want, and then you do the inside, the lining, and you get that done the way you want, and then you put the two together and we'll stitch and glue, and then stitch all around your edges to seal the two together, which will give it a really nice, it makes a really nice cover. I'll show you, look. I still had that glued, and I just glued this on top of that. I figure an extra layer of stability is not going to hurt anything. Okay, so I will go ahead and stitch this and glue this, and we'll get started on the inside cover. I'll do a little bit of work on that, and then we'll show you where we are. Okay, I have been stitching things together and working on my liner sheet. I have made a couple of pockets to go here, and basically how I did that was my my cover is 12 inches, and so I used scrapbook paper and I cut it 6 inches in half so I'd have 2 pockets. And then what I did was fold this over. I decided how high I wanted my pocket to be, and so I folded it in half so that when you see this, you don't see any rough edges. You see the not fabric, but you see the pattern on the paper, okay? So that's my top. And then, well, I'll just show you here. We will cut this in half. Let's get 6 inches here, and we've got 6 inches for the other one. Okay, then what I did was I came in and measured. Oh, let me get a different one. I measured 1 inch in and used a stylus to just kind of crease that, fold it, and then come in on the other side, crease that, fold it, and at this point you can, if you want, you can put some glue down. We'll go ahead and add that, and this gives your pocket a little more strength. Obviously you don't have to do it with paper like I did. You can use fabric or, you know, whatever it is that you want to use. Okay, so my folds are on the inside. Now what I'm going to do is turn my pocket so the folds are on the outside. And I had measured in 1/2 inch or 1 inch on both sides. Now I'm going in 1/2 inch and folding that in. Okay, kind of like a zigzag right there. Okay, then we go on the other side. I mean, this is really easy to do. Quick way to make a pocket. Okay, and there you go, there's my pocket. So then I would glue this down, and I use double-sided tape. Put it down, and then I brought this down to my edge, and then I just laid it out. So there you have for the 2 pockets. Then when I put this together with this and I add my binding, then I will stitch this in, and that will stitch this down, the pocket down. Until then, it's just kind of open and you can see. So you can decorate, you know, your pockets or whatever. Okay, so that's adding your pockets on the inside. Another thing that I did, and I messed up here, but it's like turn something that you mess up into a, yeah, I meant it that way. Normally what I would do is I would put my, what are these even called now? I'm drawing a blank. The eyelet. I would put that little ring on the outside and you wouldn't see where it separates. But because I did one the wrong way, I decided, well, we'll just make these little flowers. So that's what I did. And you can see that I glued on some fabric to kind of give it more stability right here. So then I put my eyelets on, and then with my elastic cording, I buy mine in Joann's. I'm sure you can get it in many different places. I like Joann's, their elastic cording. And so after I had my holes punched, then I put it up through and down, and you can see where I've double knotted everything here. And when I go to put this on, I will use double-sided tape and I will cover this so it's nicely covered and gives it some extra glue when I put it on here. So it's just a matter of doing a little bit of measuring when you're working with this piece, because you don't want to interfere with your center and you don't want it to come out to the edge, because you are going to stitch, you know, with your binding on. Okay, so that kind of catches you up where I am at now, and I have decided these are going to be my strips. This is what I'm going to put it together with, and I'll show you that. I will do the two sides first, and then I'll do the top and the bottom, so that, as in this one, the top and the bottom go over. If I had it one continuous piece, I could go ahead and fold it and take it all the way around. But I didn't with this particular piece. And it took me, well, you guys know, it took me a while to kind of figure this one out. It's like, oh, what would look good? And I finally hit upon this, and I do like it. I like it. So we're good. One more thing that I'm going to add, well, maybe two things. I found this trim that goes perfectly, perfect color, so I'm going to glue that on. And then somewhere on here, I'm going to glue something that says journal or notes, or, you know, something of that nature, to show that this is, you know, her journal. And I still, of course, have to put this on. I'll probably glue this on last of everything, in all honesty, I think. We'll see. Okay, guys, so you're caught up with me. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to glue this on. You don't need to watch me do that. And then I will, well, you know what? I'll start this so that you can see this process. I want you to see this. Okay. So I am going to, with my stick glue, I'm just going to glue in kind of all over it. Now here again, I told you I was going to put some double-sided tape. So let me get that. And double-sided tape, scrapbooking tape, you can find in many different places. So I'm going to pull from the front, because I want these to go in as much as possible. So I'm going to kind of pull that and pull that, pull these out. I'm going to do the same with this. This is probably the trickiest part, really. I mean, it's not horrible, but, you know, it can be a little bit tricky. And if you don't want to have a slot for your pen to fit here, you can eliminate that step altogether. Okay? Okay, so let's go back and just kind of re-glue some of this. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just so I can get it stitched on. Okay? Would turn it. Okay. Now, this little part, I do need to be a little careful here. And what I probably should have done is kind of go over with my bone folder to keep it down neatly, to separate the glue part from the paper here. Oh, kind of freaking out. Freaking out a little bit, guys. Oh man. Today has been a pretty good day. I go in tomorrow for my weekly cancer treatment. Last week's I told you was not good. I didn't tell you why it wasn't good, but it was, they're just having trouble with my port, trying to get me stuck in the right place, the right time. And it just, oh, it was just kind of a, I don't really want to go over that. But it wasn't my finest hour. It wasn't one of the nurse's finest hours. Let's just say we kissed and made up later. Okay. So I've got this on here now. This will fit a good sized, I'll just stick this in here. And you just kind of have to measure. You know, you just have to eyeball it and see what you think that way. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stitch, and then I'll do 2 lines of stitching. I'll do 1 to tack it all down, and then I will come back and I'll do my binding on. Okay? We're almost done, guys. Okay, guys, I think we are just about done with the cover here. If you look in the description box below this video, I will put 1 or more links to some of my Midori notebooks where I show you the threading and how I do all of that. The video's already gone a long time, so I don't want to do that in this one. But I'll put the links there for you. Look at this. Isn't this great? So I still have to do this one where we tie it together, and I will put a little charm or something on there. And I still haven't done the journal, and I still haven't done this, but I want to call this good for this video, you guys. Thank you for joining me. I hope this has been a little bit helpful, and that you will take the opportunity to make some of your own fun little Midori style notebooks, and just to try it, just for something different. See what you like, what you don't like. Thanks, guys, so much. I love you. I appreciate your support. And yeah, until next video, have a fabulous day. Bye-bye now.